Good morning, Deeva Nation WRJRNs. First off, I know I'm late. Secondly, I don't want to hear anything about my hair. My head hurts. I was going to make an attempt to do something with it, but you get what you get at this point. So, uh, today we have two from the Windy City of Chicago. The first one, and it's kind of ironic, is a young lady who's wondering what is the fascination with men and long hair. Good morning, Marcus. Yes, your sugar. Wants to know what is the fascination with men and long hair. Don't really know, honestly. I know for a lot of guys it's preference, especially especially with black men, it seems. I know more brothers that like long hair than I do any other race. So I really don't know what it is. I know I prefer, honestly, for me, longer, not necessarily long hair, but longer hair so that I have a little more versatility. Like if I had short hair right now, oh God, it wouldn't be nothing nice because, my head hurts. What am I going to do with it? At least if it's longer, I have the option of a ponytail or something like that, although clearly that didn't happen today. But I don't know. That's something that we would really have to ask the fellas. Marcus, I don't know if you have a preference as far as hair length, but if you're one of those that like long hair, tell me why that is. For me, it's easier to handle. I don't have to do it as much. And I know I dated a guy, Kim, that absolutely hated long hair. And I asked him why. He said, because with the longer hair, you tend to pull it back. You don't really style it or do anything with it, as evidence like right now. But I got a reason for not doing anything with mine. We tend to not style and do all those things with it as we would actually have to do with shorter hair. So I think, I don't know. Every man I've dated to this point seemed to prefer long hair. Good morning, Michelle. So I don't know. Gotta ask a guy. When we do this Deeva and Doug thing, maybe y'all can ask him because I got a 5 head. Y'all see all this forehead. I just know I can't be bald. That's all I know. So I gotta have some hair. So I'm sorry. Marcus is saying natural is best for me. As long as she keeps it nice, then we're good. So it's not about long hair versus short hair for you, Marcus. Good morning, BB. But yeah, I know I've encountered a lot of those men too. They love natural hair. For the longest time, I would do anything to mine to make it look as to fit into societal norm. There's this whole thing about afros are not kempt hair, twists outs and stuff like that, locks, stuff like that are they are historically ethnic, don't fit into societal norms or fit in the workplace. So for the longest time, I kept that under wraps. Then one day I'm like, if my hair is good enough for me, then doggone it, it's going to be good enough for the rest of y'all. So I stopped, trying to hide my natural hair. So I'm looking at a message coming. No, this is my actual hair. It's not a weave. I mean, if I were going to do a weave, I'd be sitting on this mess. But I'm not going to get a weave to the length of my own hair. Because for me, if I were going to do that, it would be to create to change up, not to be exactly who I already am. And Marcus is saying, not at all, dear, to my question as far as length preference. And then Michelle saying, I need to have long hair or I look like a dude. I know a lot of girls like that, they have such strong features that if they had short hair, they would look more masculine. And then Kim is saying, I've had it all my life, and the few times I did cut it, my daddy, my husband, and my boyfriend had a tantrum. I've been there. When I came back here from California, I had really long hair, but I'm in Arizona. It's hot here. I went into a salon because they would cut your hair and style it for free if you donated it. Well, I walked in, the woman was like, well, we don't take weaved hair. Well, this isn't a weave. It grew out of my head. And so it ended up being somewhere around here. It was really cute. I think 17 years later, my dad is still mad about that. And because of going through radiation and stuff, it thinned out my hair. Good morning, Donnie, Michelle. And then, I didn't know if I was going to have to go through radiation again. I kept it short because after I went through the first time, or just before I went through the first time, I actually had my hair cut off to what relaxer was still left in there. So it was pretty short. It might have been, here, above my ears. It was pretty short. And I've kept it short because if I had to go through that again, it's much easier for me to let go of short hair than to let go of waist length hair. My hair wasn't waist length, but I'm just saying the longer it is, the harder it is to let it go. And Demetria, can someone volunteer to straighten this mess I have? Don't nobody want them problems, BB. So it's really going to be a preference. And also, Michelle is saying, I also keep it long because if I cut it, everyone says I look like my sister, whom I can't stand. So yeah, no way am I going to look like her. I told her I would call her back. Sisters. And the other one is actually a gentleman, or no, it is a woman out in Chicago. And she's saying, why is it so hard to fall in love? She says she's been dating this man for 5 years now. She can't see herself without him. She knows she does love him, but she doesn't understand why she can't fall in love. So, of course, I got to be nosy, get a little history. And she's saying that just haven't worked out. When she's fallen in love with them, they weren't in love with her. Or her marriage where she gave it 1,000% and he walked out on her anyway. Don't you hate it when you tell somebody, I'll call you back, so they continue to call you and call you and call you, and now texting you? Yeah. Okay, yeah, we're moving again. So, yeah. My take on that is this. You get out of a relationship what you put in it. In theory. I don't know why after 5 years you haven't fallen in love with him unless you've put up blocks yourself. I know for the longest time I did that. So honestly, I can say I've been in love twice in my entire life. And, I've loved a number of men, but I've only been in love twice because I would cut it off before it got to that point, or I would check out emotionally before it got to that point. And maybe that's what you're doing. If there's something going on in this relationship that clearly we don't know about because we're getting one side of the story. We clearly don't know what's going on in your relationship. But I know for me, sometimes I will check out emotionally and stay checked out. So maybe that's part of it. So one thing I'm going to implore you to do is stop letting your past run your future. What happened then, unless it's the same elements going on in this relationship, shouldn't even pertain to this relationship. You've got to let that go. You've got to see this man for who and what he is. Now, If he's a woman beating, taking your money, driving you to work in your car while he goes to play video games all day kind of guy, yeah, I could see why you have a hard time falling in love with that. The man has no drive, no motivation, and ain't about nothing, to be honest. But if he's treating you the way that you want and deserve to be treated, he's there for you, he's doing things for you and with you, he's, you know, your partner, but you can't fall in love, then you need to address what it is inside of you that's preventing that, because it's not him, it's you. So you need to evaluate that. You know, I don't know what else to tell you. We own our own feelings. He can't make you feel one way or the other. Now, he can do things that influence how you feel, but he can't make you feel anything. That's all on you. It's just like when people say, I need somebody that can make me happy. That's not their job. Doug's job isn't to make me happy. My job isn't to make him happy. My job is to find somebody I can be happy with. And that's what you need to do. So you need to first ask yourself, are you truly happy with this person? And based on what you've said to me in the email, I bet you if this man disappeared out of your life today, you would be sorry. And I say that because there's clearly something that's keeping you there. And it's not something bad. There's no children involved. So there's something about this man that makes you want to stay there. So you need to build on that. 5 years and you're not in love. I want you to also evaluate to you what it means to be in love, because I think for everybody it's kind of different. There may be one or two common threads, but for the most part, it's different for pretty much everybody as far as what it means to them to be in love. So maybe if you get out of other people's idea of what it means to be in love and figure out what it means for you, you may find that you actually are. You've given me no indication that you want to go. You said you've been here all these 5 years and don't see yourself with anybody else. There's a reason for that. So I would dig deeper into that. You know, what does being in love mean to me? And then let me know how that works out for you. But yeah, I get the feeling you already are. It's either that or you're so afraid of being alone that you'll just stay in a relationship that you feel is loveless. So you need to evaluate your own feelings. And like I said, based on what you wrote in your letter, it's not him that's the problem or the stumbling block. It's you and your past. It's something going on with you that's preventing you from being in love. So let me know how that goes. We're having trouble again. But anywho, I'm going to go. Right. Don't be desperate. I hope that's not the case, BB, but listening or reading her email, I honestly think she is in love with the guy. And she's just going off somebody else's interpretation of what it means to be in love. So she needs to evaluate that for herself, though. But just based on what I read, I'm inclined to think she already actually is in love. So we'll see. Meanwhile, right, don't be desperate. You will make a mistake. Yeah. Done that. You know, not going to get into specific detail, but that's what led me to get married when I did. Not because I was in love with this person, but because I had it in my head I would never have anybody else want to marry me. And so I married him, and now I'm sitting here divorced. And, I often said I would only get married one time. That may have been my one time. And look how that ended up. So, evaluate what being in love means to you. And Demetra is saying, yeah, you're right. When you are in love, you will know it. And I agree with that to a point. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people use somebody else's definition of what being in love is supposed to be, and I did that myself. You're supposed to feel this, you're supposed to feel that, you're supposed to this. But when it came down to it, I'm going by somebody else's definition. No, don't nobody know me better than me. So based on my definition of what being in love is, and I'm not going to say what that is because, like I said, everybody's is different. There's some general rules of thumb, but for the most part, everybody is different on what makes them know that they're in love. And based on my definition for me of what being in love with somebody is, I've been in love twice. And unfortunately, one of those was not my husband. He's my friend now, and I hate that's the case, but if I'm going to keep it real, I was never in love with him. So therefore, we probably never should have actually gotten married, but I don't regret it because I've got some beautiful kids out of the deal. All of them. Love my babies. And then Donnie Michelle is saying, everyone is not in love material. When it hits you, you will know it. Wait on your feelings, not someone else's. And that's what I'm saying. Follow your own definition of what in love is. When you go by, what somebody else says being in love is supposed to be, you may not measure up to that. It's what you feel, how you think. Hey, Lindsay, what you define being in love is. Marriage taught you lessons. It sure did. It certainly did. It taught me exactly what I don't want in a husband. Not saying he's a bad guy at all, but it taught me exactly what I don't want in a husband, what I will not put up with in a relationship, period, and what I need in a relationship. It wasn't all bad. It's just that the foundation wasn't solid. And I think the only reason we were married for 16 years instead of maybe the 10 that, were okay years or good years is because, we had the kids, and who wants to say they failed? I didn't want to fail at this. I remember I said I only wanted to do it one time. I didn't want to fail at it. So that's why I stayed. I'm pretty sure that's why he stayed. He still tells me that he loves me because of the kids, and that's fine. It's not a love that will sustain a relationship. And we never had that kind of love to begin with, even though we dated off and on for 9 years before we got married. We still didn't have the type of love to sustain a relationship. I didn't look at him and think, I can't live without this man. The lady that wrote this letter did. That's what she's saying. I don't see myself, I can't see myself without this man in my life. He's that good of a person. So she needs to reevaluate and figure out what is her definition of in love is, and see if this relationship fits that. And Donnie's saying sometimes you don't know until you step in it. Oh, right, that's for sure. A divorce is not a failure, it's a life lesson. Right. And at the time, I wasn't looking at it that way. I'm like, yeah, here's something else I failed at. And that's why, I've had subsequent engagements, and it just never worked. Because then it was like, do I really want to do this again and fail again? No, I don't. But if I'd have married any of those other men that asked me to marry them, oh, it definitely would have failed. Especially my last proposal. We spent a weekend together, after we first met. I went to visit him and got to meet his family. We hung out and everything. 2 days after I came home, marry me. Really? No. And Demetri is saying, I ask that all the time. And then Lindsay saying, agreed. That's how I felt. Failure is a hard thing to take, but looking back, it shows you what not to do and makes you stronger. Right. I agree. That's me, Lindsay. Well, you know. That's for everybody. You know, that's me. I look at I looked at my marriage not working out as a failure on my part, but in the end, it truly is a life lesson because now I've learned so much more about myself. I've realized I'm stronger than I thought I was, that I'm more deserving than I thought I was. And then Donnie's saying, I have great words to have never been married. And you know what? I get a lot of, like when I was not in a relationship, you have a lot of nerve telling anybody how to do this or what you think or how to feel when you're not in a relationship yourself. Okay, first off, I'm not one of those that wants somebody's relationship to fail. Second of all, I may not have been in a relationship at that moment, but I've been in relationships. I've also been married. So even though you've never been married, does not mean you don't have anything valuable to add to this, that you don't have anything of value to contribute. So thank you for that. I'm just saying that used to just get on my nerves. Okay, so if you're so concerned about me giving you my opinion, because I don't really give people advice. You ask me my opinion, I'm going to tell you what I think. If I'm good enough for you to ask me my opinion, what difference does it make what my relationship status is? Apparently you thought enough of me to ask. And then Donnie's saying, I've been through other people's marriages and it's taught me a great deal. And and that's true. I think when you're around other people, it does influence you. Watching my parents be married was like, I don't want to do this. Because when my mom told me and my ex-husband, we were 3 and 5 years old, you two were going to get married one day. It looked like such an awful thing to me. I'm sitting there sobbing because I thought married meant something really, really horrible. And then Lindsay's saying, here's a question. If you had the opportunity to push the reset button on your past relationships, would you? Yeah, I would. I still would have gotten married because I couldn't have created these kids with anybody but this man. And you know how much I love my babies. So yeah, if I could push a reset button, yeah, I would push that button. Like I said, I would still be married, but all but one relationship subsequent to being married, I would know and I would swerve left. And Demetri is saying, people better be careful with who and what they listen to from some people who are in relationships. That's true too. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you know it all. A lot of people give the air that their relationship is perfect. I say all the time, mine isn't. We just happen to have two imperfect people that fit perfectly together. That doesn't mean we're perfect people. Doesn't mean it's a perfect relationship. We have our disagreements. We get on each other's nerves. Sometimes he's ready to walk out the door. Sometimes I'm a relationship track star. The smallest thing is going to make me want to run. But in this case, I put on my running shoes and run to him now, where I used to just run away. So shut up, Demetria. But yeah, I think everybody has something that they can contribute to a conversation. It doesn't matter what your relationship status is. And then watching, he's sticking his tongue out at me. He must be watching. Dimitri is saying, I still have your track shoes. And Lindsay's saying, got her Nikes in the closet. Yeah, they took my shoes. But, my mom, seeing how she was in her marriage with my dad made me feel like, I don't want to do this. No. But then I watched my biological father with my stepmom and it's like, yeah, I want this. They had the most playful relationship. He was much older, but they had the most genuine, playful relationship. They fought, they got on each other's nerves. This is how they used to say good, I love you to each other. What's for breakfast? Why? Because I'm hungry. I'm not your short order cook. I love you too. Out the door he would go. They had a fun relationship. So that made me think, okay, yeah, I could do this marriage thing. And then Donnie's actually answering Lindsay's question, where Lindsay asked if you had the opportunity to push the reset button on your past relationships, would you? Donnie's saying to Lindsay, hell no. If I left, they did something to make me not want to look back. Lindsay's telling me I'm never getting my Nikes back. And Donnie's saying, I'm 59 years young and they were old, acting and stubborn and just yuck. Well, I think we have a different interpretation of what it means to hit a reset button. I'm not sure. To me, it means if I could go back, would I? I would go back, like I said, I wouldn't change the being married or who I was married to, because I wouldn't have the same kids with a different person. But I would, subsequent relationships. Oh gosh. But, you know what? Again, everything is a lesson or a blessing. And these particular relationships happen to be both. It was a lesson because it was something I needed to learn, and a blessing because they're over. And Donnie's saying, that's what I mean. No, I wouldn't go back or reset or nothing. Lindsay's saying, I feel you, Donnie. I would reset the fact that I got married. Wait a minute. Who are you laughing at, Donnie? The first and second time. You know what? And Lindsay, I understand why you feel that way. I was there, for the second one at least. So I understand why you feel that way. And Donnie's saying, yes, I learned a lot of lessons. That's why I'm not ever marrying. I would do it again with the right person. The proposals that I accepted in the past, if I'm real about it, I knew good and hell well it was never going to be a marriage. And I knew this because, I actually started a group for people that I wanted in my wedding, but never followed through on anything. I went to look for a dress once, and I was with my cousin, and we found a dress I liked, and I was supposed to go back and get it. The other one, I didn't even get that far with. All I did was, choose some colors and no, that's it. Oh, I'm laughing at you cutting the air. But who's the right person? This is Donnie saying this. And Lindsay's saying those would have been learned relationships. And Donnie's saying, what did you do, collect rings? No, I gave them back. The first one, we didn't get that far. He asked me to marry him. Then he went on the road, and because he was a truck driver. And by the time he came back, we were done. You're off every day in a good way, Donnie. And then the second one, I made every attempt to give it back. He wouldn't take it, so I actually gave it away. Because a friend of mine was like, well, make a necklace or make some other jewelry out of it. No, I don't want that. How are you going to ask me to marry me? Ask me to marry you. We get in one argument and you tell me that you've been cheating on me for half the relationship. No, that's not inducive to making me want to be with you, let alone marry you. Donnie Michelle saying, I have been asked 3 times, tried on one dress and still single. And then, at the end of it, I don't even want a wedding. I just, if I'm going to get married, I just want to be married. That wedding is just a show for everybody involved. I really don't care to be center stage. When I got married the first time, we actually had to redo it. And I felt like I was playing a part in a play. And it felt very impersonal, you know. And also, once the wedding is over, there's a whole marriage to attend to. Everything that was spent on that wedding could have went toward our home or, you know, something else. So I'm just not big on weddings. You know, if I were to do one, it would be really, really small, you know, and that's it. I just not really big on weddings. And then Lindsay's saying, first time was a matter of doing the honorable thing. Second was more of a 10-year friendship. Yeah, it was. Yeah, second one definitely was a friendship. But you learned a lot. And I gained a lot out of that friendship, buddy. All that stuff she sent me. You know? And then Donnie's saying, and never had children. Oh. Yes, I don't need a full wedding, just a small one. Yeah, that's all I would want, you know. You know, his kids, my kids, we on the beach. You know, nothing big. You know, come home and throw a party, you know, for those that, you know. I don't have a lot of what I would call friends. I have a lot of acquaintances. So yeah, my wedding, even if I decided to have a big wedding, would be very small. Stop it, girl. And Donnie had asked a question earlier where it says, but who's the right person? The right person for me. Okay. It looks like it is freezing up. La 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 la. Woo-hoo. Okay. The right person for me is somebody that can be my rock when I can't be my own. That is my teammate, not my adversary. There was a lot of competition in my first marriage. I'm not competing with you for anything. Somebody that I can tell everything to and not be afraid to tell them everything. Somebody that loves me the way I love him. Somebody that's patient, somebody that's kind, somebody that's got a good heart but got that kind of tough exterior. Somebody that tells me no. I don't want a yes man. I want somebody that will tell me no. And looks like I have all that. And Lindsay's saying, this time when it happens, personal and intimate. Exactly. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is I'm your wife, he's my husband. All the rest of that stuff is just fluff. I'm not knocking anybody that chooses to actually have a full-on wedding. That's your business. But for me, there's other things there are better things that money could be spent for. Like, you know, if we're living in two separate residences, money that we would spend for a wedding, we could buy a house. There's just so many more permanent, better uses of that money, in my opinion. So I just don't really want a big wedding. And then Lindsay's saying, all that you're saying, Deeva Plus loves me, faults and all. Right. I'm not a perfect person. I just happen to be an imperfect person matched up with another imperfect person in a situation that works. And then Donnie's saying, yes, tell me no, but respect me enough to explain why you're saying no. Right on, Donnie. I'm agreeing with Lindsay on that one, right? Because, like, example, I had a guy friend that bought his girlfriend some very expensive shoes. They were like $1,800 shoes. I asked him, would you buy me some $1,800 shoes? At first he said, I'd have to think about that. And then he's like, no. And I didn't ask for an explanation, but he said, there are other things that I could spend that money on as far, you know, for you. There's other things I could buy you with that same money that would mean more. And I'm like, yes, because that's how I am. I don't want no $1,800 pair of shoes. All I'm going to do is walk on them suckers. And who am I trying to impress? I'm like, I mean, look how I'm sitting here. Look, my hair is a mess. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I just want somebody that's going to love me for me, Let me love him for him. Will tell me no. That's a hard one for me because I'm so spoiled. I was the baby and I'm so spoiled. So that was a hard one at first, but it's a respectful no. And he's saying no to me for good reasons. Can you take me to the store? No. No, it's never anything like that. This man, and he's probably going to kill me for this one, not only will wash my hair, but that little brush thing that they advertise, he actually straightened my hair with that brush while I was there. And I'm sitting here like, I don't know a man in my life that would have done that for me. So that tells me this man, there's not much he wouldn't do for me. And then Donnie's saying, the person that I'm semi-dating now is that person for me. But no, the person I'm seeing would do whatever else I wanted. Yeah, he honestly, if he really thought I wanted those shoes, I'm sure he would buy them. That's the kind of guy he is. His goal, in his words, is to make sure that I'm happy. He knows deep down I would not have been happy with those shoes because that's not who I am. Right. And Lindsay's saying, and she still might walk out on him with them $1,800 shoes. And you know what? That's exactly what happened. Yep. She got her $1,800 shoes 2 weeks later. And Donnie's saying, I am the oldest and spoiled by me and my mom, so watch out. They all have their own way of showing they care, and they do. But yeah, I'm so spoiled. I'm the baby. I'm so spoiled. Oh, yeah. Oh, damn is right, Lindsay. Yeah. I don't even think it was 2 weeks later. She's just gone. And she messages me once in a while. How you doing, girl? No, honey, we ain't friends. That goes back to girl code. I'm like that with my male friends too. And Lindsay, you know this. If y'all broke up, we all broke up. No, don't be hey girl, hey and me. No, boo. No. You hurt my friend. We're done too. Don't text me no more. So anyway, we done covered a myriad of topics today, and I really appreciate the input because, people ask me my opinion, and I'm cool on giving it. But a lot of what we learn doing Ask Miss Deeva is learned through these conversations with you guys. So I appreciate that. And then Donnie's saying, yep, he would give me whatever. I have very expensive taste. If I buy something less expensive, he says, you really want that? Yep. And Lindsay's saying, that's right. And Donnie's saying, ha ha ha, she's laughing. I feel the same way. So, yeah. I think if I really wanted those shoes, he would have bought them for me. That's just not who I am. I like nice things. Yes, I do. But I'm not going to ask him to buy something for me that I wouldn't buy for myself. And what I mean by that is if it's something I can't afford to buy, I just don't feel like I have the right to put that financial burden on somebody else. So I spend his money within my means. No, friends, if you hurt my friends, exactly. You hurt my friend. You walked out on my friend. Man, I wish I could find her walking around in them $1,800 shoes and push her down, make her break a heel. I'm so mad at her right now, it's not even funny. Because he's still really upset over that. And he didn't deserve that. So, anywho, that's it for me today. I'm going to go and see what I can do about this headache. It's been a rough morning. So, I'll be back this weekend for Love Unlimited Live, Friday and Saturday, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. out east, 8 to 11 out west, and then back on Sunday for the old school cool down from 5 to 8 p.m. out east, 2 to 5 p.m. out west. And Lindsay's on this post. He's the Tar Heel Prince. Make sure you guys tune in this Friday for the Old School Express. He gives you the best in old school hip hop and R&B. He be up there cutting up. If you guys did not make the Monday show, y'all missed a treat because he was going in. The train went to Boston because as you guys know, New Edition just got their star on the Walk of Fame, and they have this new movie that the first part was last night. So it was all about New Edition, and he cut up. He did his thing. He does this every Monday from 8 to 10 out east, which is 5 till 7 out west. And then he takes the train out again every Friday night before I come on for the Old School Express from 7 to 10 out east, 4 to 7 out west. So y'all make sure y'all tune in because he has a lot of fun. And then Lindsay saying, you better hope I don't catch her. I'd get them back for him for GP. And Donnie said, I'm not watching it. You know, I recorded it because there was so much talk on Facebook. I'm like, I'll watch it later because they were talking about so many commercials and stuff. That way I can just skip past all that. And that's right, Lindsay. The Queen and Prince take over every Friday night. So yeah, you guys make sure you tune in. Also, Mr. Rated L is coming back. He'll be back February 21st with live shows. So you'll be able to call in and talk to him about whatever topics he's doing. And, you know, we slap a warning label on his shows. They're so intense and so on point and no holds barred. So make sure you guys tune in for that. It's going to be every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. out east, which is 4 to 5 p.m. out west. And then we've got a bridge for, you know, we love the old school. Now we've got a bridge to the new school, and that is Cloud 9. He's going to be doing top 9 with Cloud 9, which are the top 9 hip hop songs in the country for that week. He's going to be doing that on Saturdays just before I come on for Love Unlimited Live. So he's going to be doing that from 9 to 10 p.m. out east, which is 6 to 7 p.m. out west. So you guys make sure you check in and tune in for these new shows, and make sure you get your tickets for the Old School Express. I'm telling you, that is the hippest trip on the radio right now. So get your tickets. I will holler at you guys tomorrow. I'm going to bring you guys tomorrow the topic that was introduced to me for my friend out in, or actually a family member out in Virginia that had a couple questions. We're going to do the second question tomorrow. I just had to get some of these questions out of my inboxes. I've got a bunch of them. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and then I'll see you this weekend or you guys will hear me this weekend on the air. Bye-bye. Love you guys. Be blessed.